come as no surprise when I say I love the Mario and Luigi games. Especially if you've seen my top 8 Mario RPGs, you know that I am a huge fan of this series. And honestly, how could I not be? It is one of the greatest RPG series of all time. It's funny, has a unique battle system that is actually pretty fun to use, and overall is just a great series of games. However, that doesn't mean they're immune to their faults. And sometimes, when you love a game a lot, it's when you notice all the little problems. If you hate a game, you obviously go for the big problems, but if there are no big problems in a game, you tend to notice the smaller ones. So that's what I'm going to be counting down here today. My top 10 most annoying Mario and Luigi moments. This can be anything. A level, a boss, a gameplay aspect, whatever it is that you have to deal with, and I hate, that's what we're dealing with in this list. Now, just to let you guys know, I'm not hating on the Mario and Luigi, well technically I am, but I still love the series. These are just a few parts of the games that I really don't like. With all that said, let's begin. In the Mario and Luigi games, particularly Bowser's Inside Story, they like to have you play some mini-games in order for you to progress, usually having something to do with something or other. And most of the time, these mini-games are actually pretty fun and enjoyable. Gut Check is not one of the better mini-games. So basically, how does Gut Check work? Well, Bowser has to eat this giant carrot in under 1 minute. Yes, that's right. Apparently the Wigglers have a policy that if you pull up a carrot, you have to eat it, and Bowser pulled up a giant one. Their policy does not involve eating it in a minute, but I guess that's for the fun of the minigame. You have to find these digestive enzymes to help Bowser digest it faster. However, it could be under any piece of carrot. Granted, they give you a hint as to where it is, like the general area, but if you take too long, its power will be weakened and it'll become pretty much useless. And like I said, you only have a minute, and you have a lot of bits of carrot to get through. Honestly, this minigame frustrated the heck out of me the first time I played Bowser's Inside Story, but now it's not really that bad, which is why it's only number 10. You could say my hatred for Guarhar Lagoon is weird, unwarranted, and just flat out undeserving, and I can understand that, but here's why I really don't like this level. For starters, this is the first level where you're actually forced to pay in order to advance. Granted, it's only 200 coins, but it kind of bugs me. Second is that the swimming segments can be annoying. You move pretty slowly, and it makes it really hard to get away from enemies if you're under-leveled. But here's really my biggest problem with this level, making it my least favorite level in Superstar Saga, is that it's just kind of boring. Nothing really eventful in the game's story happens, you're just looking for Beanstar pieces. The other levels in the game, not only were they a lot more clever and creative, but a lot of them also had random events going along, whether it be with Popple or other things. This level just doesn't really have anything that happens until you get to the end and find a guy who has a Beanstar piece. Other than that, nothing really happens, and that's why I hate this level. Again, it might seem kind of like not a very good reason, which is why this level is only number 9 on the list. At one point in Mario and Luigi Dream Team, you need to hide Peach from Bowser inside the Dream World, but since Dreamy Wakeport's really small, you need to get Seadrick the Dream Genie in order to expand the Dream World, and in order to do that, he needs 3 Dream Eggs, and his relatives have them, so you need to go get them. And oh my god, Seadrick's relatives never shut up! Basically, when you go to visit Seadrick's relatives, they'll proceed to talk your ear off over and over again about some pointless thing that you don't care whatsoever about, before they can actually give you the Dream Egg. And all 3 of them go on way too long. One of them is some sort of diva who just brags about how much of an underwater supermodel she is, and she's incredibly annoying. The second one's a failed stand-up comedian. As you can imagine, he's not funny, and Mario and Luigi cringing at his terrible jokes can only go so far. The closest one of these to actually being funny was one who thinks that Mario, Luigi, and Dreambird are superheroes. And this would be funny if it weren't for the fact that it went on way too freaking long. All three of these guys' speeches are about as long as Seadrick's, and keep in mind, Seadrick had to tell you about the whole story of the Dream Eggs and why you need them and how he can get you through there. While the other guys are just there to deliver scenes that are supposed to be funny, but really aren't funny enough to warrant how long they are. Between this and number 9, it's not hard to see why Plaque Beach is the only beach level I like in the Mario and Luigi games. Yes, I know I said that Guarhar Lagoon was my least favorite level in Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, but here's the thing, while that was my least favorite level, Teehee Valley I know factually is the worst level in the game. Basically, this level is the perfect example of a terrible escort mission. You have to escort Peach through Teehee Valley. Now, Peach in this game is not the usual Princess Peach, she's even dumber. If Peach so much as runs into an enemy or goes off the screen for even a split second, she gets kidnapped. Why are you guys laughing? Oh, I get it, you think it's a joke. Yeah, I know how we like to joke about how easily Peach gets kidnapped, but it's literal here, and it's not fun in the slightest. If you let Peach out of your sights for a split second, or let her run into an enemy, she's gonna get kidnapped. When they kidnap her, you have to go all the way down the pipe they went, then go all the way down to her and bail her out, just so you can get back to the level. I bet I know what you're thinking. So what, just stay next to her and kill all the enemies? Well, no, it's not that simple. You see, you have to solve puzzles alongside her, and keep her from going off the screen. Now you know what you're thinking. Can't you just get her to stop? No, apparently Peach is too stupid to comprehend the motion of stopping. You can talk to her, but that'll just change the direction she walks in, not whether or not she's still moving. Oh, and guess what? Just to add insult to injury, whenever you finish a segment, Peach ends with the line, "That wasn't so bad, was it?" Yes, it was freaking bad, Peach, because you kept going off screen and getting kidnapped! You know, couldn't they just fly up in a helicopter and get to Little Fungi Town instead of going through the dangerous Teehee Valley? I just can't begin to feel sorry for Mario. I mean, the thing is, he has to put up with this constantly. I mean, Peach is his girlfriend. He has to bail her out a ton of times. Oh, and also, it's not hard to see why this is such a widely hated level in Superstar Saga. Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga had a lot of moments in the game with Mario and Luigi working together, as well as a lot of moments where they got separated, and most of these moments were pretty fine. However, this is one moment that was not so good. Piranha Bean. You see, one of the nice things about the Mario and Luigi separated segments is the fact that there wasn't any combat, because, let's face it, fighting with just one Mario brother is not fun. You see, here's one of the big problems with this fight. You can't use any bros attacks, which is normally what makes boss fights feasible, but here you can't use them because you only have Luigi with you. Also, another thing that makes boss fights fun is unique mechanics and unique attacks. This boss has neither of them. It has the same 2 attacks that it repeats over and over again. Heck, the game doesn't even consider this guy a boss, it considers him a regular enemy, but he has so much friggin' HP, it just feels like a nightmare to take him down. And the thing is, Piranha Bean isn't even a tough boss, he's just a really annoying boss. Overall, Piranha Bean is just a miserable boss to try to take down, and is not fun in the slightest. Really, unskippable cutscenes are a big problem in pretty much any game. Just ask anyone who's played the original Kingdom Hearts. Is this problem exclusive to Mario & Luigi? No. Is it at its worst in Mario & Luigi? No. Is it still a problem in Mario & Luigi? Heck yeah! In case you didn't know by now, Mario & Luigi games don't tend to have the easiest of all boss fights. Point is, there will be several boss fights that you need to refight because they're too hard. And in all the games except for Dream Team, you can't just automatically refight the boss. Well, technically you can in Bowser's Inside Story, but there's a limited number of retry clocks, and do you really want to waste it on a boss that there's a save block right outside? So, whenever you lose to a boss and you get back from the save block, you have to watch this same cutscene all over again. And pretty much any emotion that the cutscene was supposed to elicit out of me, whether it be suspense, humor, or what have you, kinda gets lost when you've seen the cutscene a billion times in a row because you were failing so much at a boss. Now look, Mario and Luigi isn't the worst offender of this cliche. I know there are games out there that do it worse. Like for example, Kingdom Hearts, like I mentioned earlier. Granted, I've only played Final Mix, but I know in the original you can't skip cutscenes, and I can't imagine how much of a nightmare that would have been for someone playing the original. But really, this cliche is bad no matter what game you put it in, and is something that really needs to stop. In Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, the last area of the game is Bowser's Castle, and in Bowser's Castle, for the most part, you have to fight the 7 Koopalings. Now, as you get through these Koopaling fights, there become time bombs that limit how many turns you can take, otherwise if the timer counts down past 8 turns, then it kills you instantly. And this makes these fights really frustrating. There's a total of 4 fights that these things affect, so I guess I'll go over each one individually. There's the fight with Larry, which despite being the last Koopaling fight, isn't actually all that bad, and the time bomb really doesn't affect it. But then there's Wendy. You see, the thing about Wendy's fight is that she clones herself into 4 copies that are pretty much indistinguishable from each other, and due to the time bomb limiting your turns, it's almost entirely luck-based as to whether or not you win. Then there's Roy, and thanks to the time bomb, he's my least favorite boss in the whole game. Basically, with Roy, his attacks are very tough to dodge and very damaging, so you pretty much have one of 2 options. Either A, play offensively and hit him with a bunch of special attacks to kill him within the time limit and end up getting killed by his attacks, or B, play defensively and keep healing yourself to keep dying from his attacks just to get killed by the time bomb. But by far the most infamous one is the one in the Bowletta fight. Basically, once you beat Bowletta, the time bomb shows up right the heck out of nowhere and kills you, and then forces you to face arguably the toughest boss in any Mario game, starting off with only 1 HP, and she's almost guaranteed to get the first attack as well. I know it seems like I'm being kinda harsh towards Superstar Saga in this list, but don't worry, this is the last entry that it's in. Oh man, partners in time. I'm not even gonna try to beat around the bush here. Number 3 is the special attack system. This thing is so stupid. Now here, let me explain how special attacks work in any other Mario & Luigi game. In any other Mario & Luigi game, you have an SP gauge, which drains as you use special attacks, and you can buy syrups in order to replenish it. Here, the attacks are individual items. Let me explain why this is such a terrible choice. Now, you see, when you get to a shop, you're going to have to predict which special attacks you're going to use and around how many of them you're going to use, which can be pretty complicated deciding how much of which attack you want to buy instead of, I don't know, just buying some syrups. And the thing is, this isn't a decision you can make all that often. Shops in this game are very few and far between. Another thing about them is item boxes. You see, in the other Mario & Luigi games, it would just have syrup in there that you could use to restore your SP by X amount. Here, it just gives you a certain amount of a random special attack, which could suck. Let's say I get red shells, which is an item that I never use. Therefore, the item box just cheated me. Sure, I can sell them, but the shops are miles away in this game, like I said earlier. It overall gives a very limiting feel to your special attacks. Now, number 2 on this list, I'm not even going to bother to go to a number transition, because it's from the same game, and it's a problem that ties into this one, and that is the enemy HP. Basically, the enemies in this game have way too much freaking health, which can only do so much good. And by that, I mean it can only screw up the game in so many ways. Here, let me explain the various ways as why this screwed up. First of all, you may be saying, oh wait, can't you just use special attacks like in the other games if an enemy's HP is giving you trouble? Yeah, you could, but why don't you just watch my number 3 segment and see why you're very limited in that. Granted, you might have stocked up enough, but most likely you're gonna feel like you want to hold on to these, so you'll have them for the bosses. Now, when playing an RPG, and the enemies have way too much HP, there's pretty much one of 2 thought processes. Either A, kill as much of them as possible so you can gain EXP to stay leveled up, but it's going to take freaking forever to do that, or B, just keep going so you can continue with the story, but you're going to be severely underleveled and easily KO'd by anything in a later area. P.S. I chose the second thing, and I had a lot of grinding to do to beat the final boss. Overall, between numbers 2 and 3, it's not hard to see why Partners in Time is widely considered the worst of the Mario and Luigi games. Granted, I still like it, but I also agree it is the worst out of the 4. You know, Dream Team is probably my second favorite in the series, right behind Bowser's Inside Story. One thing that I really liked about Dream Team was the fact that it did a lot of things to improve accessibility and user-friendliness, such as letting you retry a battle without having to go back to a save block, or letting you save whenever you want as opposed to just at a save block. Granted, you can't save in battle or in cutscene, but that's kind of obvious. However, there is one change they made that I really do not like, and that is the constant tutorials. I'm gonna be upfront with you guys. For me, one of the worst video game cliches, period, is taking too long to get into the meat of a big adventure game. And boy, does Mario and Luigi Dream Team fail in this sense. Okay, let me list off all the tutorials that are at the beginning of the game. The game starts off with the tutorial battle. I kid you not, there's then a tutorial on how to move. Then there's a tutorial on how to save, and not as in save me from these freaking tutorials. Then there's another tutorial battle. Then there's another tutorial battle right after that tutorial battle. So that's 3 tutorial battles so far. Then there's the start menu, which, of course, instead of just starting up and checking out your stuff, Starlo has to explain to you everything. This is probably the dumbest tutorial yet, considering the fact that there are descriptions for each option. We don't need Starlo telling us. You know, I think it's been a while since we've had a tutorial battle. Let's have another tutorial battle! I guess Starlo just wanted to get in on the fun of annoying us. Then we get a challenge from this purple ball of flame that's practically a tutorial. Then guess what? We get our 5th tutorial battle! Then I stopped recording the tutorials because I assumed that was the last one before you get into the meat of the game. And there are tutorials there too. Although they're usually for a new field move, so I guess they're okay. Now, I know the excessive tutorials are a problem in every Mario and Luigi game, but it feels at its worst in Dream Team. I mean, maybe it's because they're all pushed together, but do you recall any other Mario and Luigi game that didn't have the common decency to assume you knew how to move, or had 5 tutorial battles? Honestly, I don't know what could be worse than this. Constant tutorials. I freaking hate it whenever a game does this, and Partners in Time is one of the worst offenders I've ever seen. I'm Defoffilizer, and if any game developers are watching this, do me a favor, don't put constant tutorials at the beginning of your game, or if you do, give us the option to skip them. Remember though guys, as negative as I was in this list, I still do love the Mario and Luigi games.